Hi, welcome back. My name is Leah, and I am a life and relationship transition coach and the founder of Life Remade. I specialize in helping people to move through those uncertain waters of change. So, change in relationships, change in career, change in just how you view yourself, your self esteem. And today I want to talk a lot about self confidence, specifically as it pertains to having self confidence in relationships. This is something that I see a lot of people struggling with, and I have personally struggled with in the past as well. So let's jump right into it. How to improve self confidence in a relationship? You have to start showing up as whole. What do I mean by this? So let's talk first about why it's so challenging to maintain self confidence in relationships. A lot of times I hear people say, the moment I get in a relationship, my self confidence just tanks. And I start to question everything. I start to overanalyze. I start to wonder, when will they text me back? Is it something I said? Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? Am I too much? If this sounds like you're in the right place. Self confidence in relationships is not about being like bold or loud, it's about being connected to who you truly are. So, why do so many of us feel unsure and insecure in relationships? It's because our confidence gets blocked when fear comes into the picture, fear of rejection, fear of being vulnerable, fear of abandonment, fear of fully trusting someone else, right? It's scary to step into the arena of relationship. So, all of these fears actually stem from one thing, and that is the inability to see ourselves as whole. And it may be easier to see yourself as whole when you're single, but when you're in that vulnerable arena, like I said, there is a kind of a block that tends to come up that is fear based, that prevents us from seeing ourselves as complete, as whole, as not lacking in any way. Um, Now, where does this come from? Somewhere along the way in relationships, whether it be in relationship with one of our caregivers or, um, you know, a romantic partnership, we stopped to see ourselves as whole. We stopped seeing ourselves as whole. We started believing that we were lacking because of a relationship failing or because of a dynamic that we got used to. And that belief started to shape how we show up in relationship. When you forget that you are already whole, you make decisions based on fear, not empowerment, not alignment. And that's why I always like to ask my clients, ask yourself this question: is the choice based on fear, or does it feel empowering? Does it feel expansive? What happens when we start to choose based out of misalignment is it creates tension and confusion and disconnection in our actions and in what we're saying that we want. When our partners show up in a similar way, you can see how this would cause a riff, or a crack, so to speak, that would eventually, break the relationship. The good news is once we reconnect to our wholeness, we stop chasing, we stop performing, we stop doubting, and we simply start being. This is the secure attachment that we're after. So I've come up with a 3-step process to help you to get back on track with your wholeness when you're in relationship. So step 1, build awareness. This is always the first step. Awareness creates choice. So build awareness. Ask yourself which fears are showing up. So is it a fear of trust, a fear of vulnerability, a fear of abandonment? Just naming that fear is the first step. What situations are impacting your confidence most and why? Is it when you're not around that person? Is it when you don't hear from them? Is it when you are in front of them? What situations in this dynamic are impacting your confidence the most? And start to notice patterns. So, is there a specific time, topic, dynamic where you shrink or you stay silent or you start performing and being someone you're really not? This awareness gently creates a mirror for us. This pattern recognition is there for us to say, okay, this isn't fully me. This isn't my whole self here. Step two is taking simple aligned action. So once you see the pattern, take that next step toward wholeness. Here's an example. If you have a fear of vulnerability, challenge yourself to be a little more open with your partner in those specific instances. If you have a fear of rejection, talk about it instead of holding it in. Share it with your partner. Be vulnerable. If you have a fear of trust, maybe visualize what it would be like to fully trust, asking yourself, what would that life feel like? What would that dynamic feel like if I were to just have this trust that it's all going to work out? Or, this idea of everything that is meant for me will not miss me. Every small action will help you restore your confidence. So, this is a practice. And because it's rooted in who you really are, this fear will no longer be able to tell you or navigate for you through relationships. So, practice getting back in touch with that true version of self, and it will slowly quiet the fear based voice. Step three, reflect on your progress. So, reflection is a big piece of this. Do I feel more or less confident now? So, a check in would be great. Has my fear shrunk even a little bit? Am I showing up more like myself in this relationship? The more you repeat steps one and two, the more confident you'll become. And that's one, two, three. Simple as that. Practice, practice, practice. Just remember, you are not the problem. You are not lacking. You are never broken. Your confidence has not disappeared. People aren't just born with it, it's just been covered up by fear. And you have a way through this fear, and that's by taking simple, aligned steps that are based on the remembrance that you are whole, that you are not lacking in any way. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know how it goes for you in the comments, and feel free to download that worksheet that I've got attached to in the caption section to the bottom on how to build confidence in our relationships. Have a good one. Bye.